Metro Plan Orlando TSMO meeting. I'm calling the meeting to order. My name is Lee Pullum and I will be chairing this meeting today. The meeting is in person and it is important that all TSMO members attend our meeting in person. So all committee members are asked to be present in the Metro Plan Orlando boardroom for us to have a quorum. Members of the public will still be able to participate virtually, and we encourage them to do so. There are 2 public comment points in the meeting. Members of the public attending in person who want to speak need to fill out a comment card and give it to Rachel. Those attending on Zoom will want to speak before the meeting. Before I recognize Eric for the agenda review, I want to thank Vice Chairman Christine Kalan for chairing our February meeting for me. At this time, I'd like to recognize Mr. Eric Hill, Metro Plan Orlando staff for the agenda review.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Been a couple months since we've gotten together, but looks like everyone looks the same. I hope I look the same to you as well. Just a few comments. I want to thank everyone that participated in the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Planning Summit that we had. It was a good gathering. A lot of information was shared, exchanged, and it only enhances the MTP as we continue to work on it. So thank you and continue to work with us on this. Central Florida Safety Summit will be on May 9th in Daytona. I'm pretty sure everyone has gotten notice of this, and this is part of the Vision Zero work that we have going on in the region. Big notice, Metro Plan Orlando's offices will be closed on Memorial Day. I trust your offices will be closed as well. And Madam Chairman, if I can take a personal privilege here, are there any Florida Gators around the table? Okay, I just want to congratulate you on the NCAA championship. Yeah, I would be jazzed if my alma mater won a championship in anything. But this is really big, so congratulations. And then also, there, what is it? The saying, old things are new again, retro. I just want to recognize Charles Ramdat, who's with us this morning, representing the city of Florida Park. And for those for those that for our seasoned members like myself, Charles used to run transportation for the city of Orlando, and now he's representing the city of Winter Park. So welcome back, Charles. And with that, Madam Chairman, I'd like to turn it over to Mike Wilson for our April safety moment.
Thank you, Eric, and good morning, everyone. April is Distracted Driving Month. We all know the importance of this issue. NHTSA has a new program that just came out, Put the Phone Away or Pay.
Distracted driving is dangerous, but some people just can't seem to help themselves. There's the steering wheel propper, the sneak-a-peeker, the fast scroller, the nightlighter. And it's not long until they become the fender benderer, the got-a-ticketer, the veering off the road, the driver who kills someone. Enough with the phones already. Just put them down.
This video and shorter versions of it are all available to NHTSA site. So if you want to share this material, and I'm sure there's other associated materials that that you all can share with your respective communities. Looking at our data, we've really been quite unfortunately consistent with our distracted driving crashes. It's been about 40% of our fatal and serious crashes have involved distracted driving consistently for the past 10 years. No real change on that. 2019 is when the Florida implemented its wireless device use law, but it was a non-moving violation. And actually, since then, our KSIs involving distracted have slightly increased. There is a bill in the Senate, Florida Senate, that would make it a moving violation, add points, offer a course. But unfortunately, there's no House companion that is advancing for that. So I think this is really what we need in order to make an impact on our distracted driving issue. That concludes my safety moment for this morning. Be happy to take any questions.
So I'm Butch Margraf, community advocate. I ride motorcycles quite a bit. And more so than when I'm in a car, it's amazing to me how many people are on their phone, particularly the phone at the base of their steering wheel. I mean, it's real easy to see in, and it's hard not to turn and shout at them, but you can't do that nowadays, the way things. But it's, yeah, if we could get a bill to where the police could actually write that, I'll vote for it multiple times. Anyway, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? No. Okay, thank you. Next, we have item 4, agency reports. This is an opportunity for any of our partner agencies to speak to the committee. If any of our partners wish to provide updates during this slot, please let Rachel and Eric know via email at least a week prior to the TSMO meeting. Today we have Jonathan Scarfe, or it's just Scarf?
Just Scar.
Just
E-
Scar.
Silent D
Okay.
on the end there. It's common issue though.
For our regular report from the FDOT. Thank you.
Morning. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. Jonathan Scarf, MPO Liaison Administrator for District 5. I'll be brief this morning. I just have a few items I wanted to bring to your attention. First, on Wednesday, April 30th, the Florida Department of Transportation and 70 industry partners will host a Road to Your Future transportation industry hiring event. This will take place from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Osceola Heritage Park Event Center. And this is for a wide range of positions. So if you know anybody that's interested in getting into the industry from entry level to professional, it'd be a great opportunity. The next item I have is D5 is starting, or District 5 rather, is starting a new program called Coffee with Construction. And this is a series of pop-up events for various projects. So we just had our kind of initial test, if you will, on March 6th. And that was held in Orange County at Gaston Edwards Park in Orlando. We considered to be successful. We had about 20 folks come out and meet with the project teams. And again, this is just another opportunity to pass information to the community on projects that are taking place. We don't have the second one scheduled yet, but I'll be sure to pass that information to the MPO when I have that date for the next time. Pending questions, that concludes my brief this morning. Sir.
Career event. Are there internships offered available?
There are internships available. And if you haven't received the flyer yet, I do have that information, but
Okay.
yes.
What age groups are you targeting for the internships?
It's wide. I don't know the exact target for the internships, but basically given off the guidance in there, it's entry level, and up. So I don't have a specific age group
No
on that.
worries. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah, no
it.
problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Now we will move to item 5, the roll call. Rachel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If members can please remember to turn on their microphone and then off when responding. Barden,
Here.
Crandell for Barkessa,
Here.
Brock,
Here.
Cologne,
Here.
Ide, Elisar,
Present.
Elliott Moore,
Present.
Gordon,
Present.
Gomez, Hamayuni, Horn, Bayard for Jameson, McGrath,
Here.
Mendenhall,
Here.
Nelson, Price, Hullum,
Here.
Ramdat,
Present.
Sanders,
Here.
Sadler,
Present.
Senerans,
Here.
Smith, Tahira,
Here.
Douglas for Wetzel, Martello for Williams,
Here.
Torres for Yeager,
Present.
Yeargain.
Here.
Thank you. That concludes the roll call, Madam Chair. We do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Madam Chairman, we did have a representative coming in. Are you representing Anthony Arturo?
Oh, okay.
Arturo?
Thank you. I have Arturo for Nelson.
You got
noted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will now hear public comments on the action items. We ask that you please use the raise hand function and you will be recognized. If any committee members wish to comment and are joining us virtually, please use the raise hand function and when you will be recognized, or dial *9 on your phone keypad. We'll send you a prompt to unmute your mic. Do we have anyone joining us virtually who would like to make comments?
Madam Chair, there are no hands raised online.
Okay. Do we have any members of the public attending in person who wish to make a public comment?
We've received no comments.
Okay, are there any written comments that were submitted before the meeting?
Madam Chair, we did not receive it.
Okay. Comments? We have one action item today. Members making or seconding a motion, please state your name. We're requesting approval of the, our first item is approval of the February 28th, 2025 TSMO meetings, which are in tab 1 in your agenda packet. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Is there a motion to approve, and is there a
Shad
second?
Smith, move to approve. Second, LSR.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If none, it has been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by the same sign? Okay. Thank you. We have two presentations and we will hold questions until each presentation ends. Our first presentation this morning is on the Signal 4 crash database by Dr. Valeri at the University of Florida.
Good morning, everyone. I'll be sitting here since, oh, there you go. I'll be sitting here since I'm gonna drive the computer a little bit. Yes. So we will present Signal 4 analytics and crash mapping for the Metro Plan Orlando areas, and with me is Dr. Shu. We worked on this together. How many people here know about Signal 4 analytics? Oh, okay.
So,
All right, that makes my
Dr.
life
Valeri,
easier.
Dr. Valeri, could you sit down so that the mic
Oh.
can pick you up?
Yeah, sorry.
That's better.
Yeah, that's good. It makes my life easier, but also harder. So I'm expecting questions. That's what it tells me. So what I wanted to do is give you a quick refresher, a few examples, and then talk a little bit about crash mapping. So as obviously you know, Signal 4 Analytics is the Florida's statewide crash data system, is available to all the government agencies and their contractors. In that portion that's more advanced, that's not public, is password protected. There are over 6,000 registered users across the state in about 1,200 agencies and contractors. So Signal 4 since 2013 is the FDOT's crash data system of record. The data come from the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles to us. It's updated daily. And at present, the database include data since 2014, typically the last 10 years, but we're hopefully going to start to keep it longer. So now it's about 7 million crashes and 42 million traffic citations. The Metro Plan portion has about 700,000 crashes and 4.5 million citations. We help out the Metro Plan portion of the data with daily geocoding of traffic crashes, and I'll get back to that a little later. So the main features of the system are a public dashboard. Then under password protection are the rest of the features, ability to crash query and citations, network screening. There is a record search capabilities. There's some standards report for law enforcement, and there's data download. I will focus just on a few of these for this presentation today. So the public dashboard has executive level information. So you can filter it by a number of variables like year, jurisdiction, law enforcement agency, strategic highway safety plan, emphasis areas, and injury severity. So let me switch here to that one. Yeah. And then we're going to drag this to the screen. Maximize. All right, we're in business. So that's the public dashboard, signal4analytics.com. And it presents a series of charts, and you see the map in the center. At the top, there is a bar that you could change the inputs so you can see different information. For example, right now we're looking at 2025 crashes till present available this year. I'm going to go to 2024, and because we also obviously have all the data for 2024, so that's what it looks like. Then if we start looking more focused, for example, geographic area, let's look at Metro Plan. Metro Plan Orlando. And then you can see the stats by age group, the day of the week, hour of the day. In the lower left corner here is the annual crash numbers for serious injury and fatalities. So if we just wanted to see fatalities, that's what it looks like, the chart. So it's kind of changing, and then just for the serious injuries, we could see that there's a clear pattern that the numbers are dropping. This chart up here shows distribution by the strategic highway safety plan areas, such as lane departure, pedestrian and bicycle crashes, intersections, distracted driving, and so on. And the numbers are at the top. So specifically for emphasis areas are here. So if we wanted to look more focus, say, bike ped crashes, then everything would change accordingly, and you'd see the age groups, and the charts actually do change based on those numbers. So I want to go back to, so that's more or less the dashboard. Now these parts that are under password protection, one of the main one is the event analysis, and here's the ability to go deeper into the data, right? There is a query panel on the left, there's a map in the center, and there's attributes and charts. So the query involved date range, geographic area, circumstances, participants, vehicles. I've saved a query here. Let's start with that. So this is the Metro Plan area, fatal injuries and fatal crashes and incapacitated injury crashes, let's say from the beginning of the year. And then you here see the distribution on the chart, obviously in the map where these crashes occurred. We can see them by day or night. That's that distribution there. And then this is by injury severity. The chart show a few attributes. Day and night, you can see distribution, say by sort of temporal grouping. You can see that a lot of these crashes, we see a little bit of a hotspot there on Sundays between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. And in fact, this one here could be narrowed. So you want to be more detailed, you could see that that spot stays, right? As we look at distribution by 2 hours, groups of 2, 4, 6, and so on. Let me go to another one here. This is another saved crashes, which we're looking at alcohol involved and drug involved, so impaired crashes. The way you would do this query is the same way, right? You dig in through these attributes and pick attributes of interest. What we may notice here is basically the numbers that we're getting. And then these are very easy to study. There is some recent features that we have, and I wanted to point that out. You can study, if you want to do spot analysis on these crashes, you can go deeper in there, and we would be able to see the actual diagram, crash diagram. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. So as we go deeper, where is that point? Oh, that's disappearing on me. Let me run this again. Oh, well. No luck on that. That's actually very strange that it's going away because I practiced that 3 times before I came here this morning. All right, let's just try this again. I want to show you a diagram, what it looks like. Anybody seen those as you zoom in? There's actual crash diagram you could turn on. Okay. Oh. What's happening is that in fact has locked me out. That's what's happening because we had this open too long. We try to protect the data. I'm glad that I remember password. All right, so so we'll look at again, it's the same query I showed you available this year. And then we can then start to narrow down to this area. This is a fatal crash. As you can see, the query is based on, let me turn that off. The query is based on crashes that involved alcohol or drugs, impaired crashes, and reported by Orlando PD. As you zoom in here, you see this little plus, and then when you click on it, you actually get to see the details of that crash, the diagram. So this is something that it's added recently. The Orlando PD is using tracks, which now include 2 tools that allow this diagramming. And the beauty of this is that you can now study this more closely by seeing the vehicle, the driver for that vehicle. Obviously, we have 4 vehicles involved in this. And what happened here, this driver apparently was under influence, cocaine, I think, and then came with a very high speed and hit all those cars there. So one important feature here to point out, and I'm going to go to this other query that I had before. Is that the location where those crashes happen is actually very important, right? All this hinges on that. So, you know, we're taking for granted taking this to seeing these points on the map. However, it takes some efforts to get them on the map because normally they are not mapped in the standard Florida crash report. So we have to take the address and try to use the computer to map. That doesn't work very well. So you could see, for example, here, a number of crashes like these that are computer approximate or lat long and so on. They are not really reliable. So these points are not, you know, very, a great deal of those are, but those that are not mapped by the officers are not. So our students look at them one by one for the Metro Plan Orlando area and map them and correct them, right? So that is a time-consuming process, but also, you know, it prevents timeliness of the data because you have to wait until the report come in and then spend the time. So I'm going to switch back to my PowerPoint to discuss something important here. I wanted to bring to this committee. So I think we just move this out of the way. There you go. And then we go to that portion of, and then if we have time, we'll come back. So the crash location are really critical. The computers can only get about 35% of them. So using a tool to map the crashes is very critical. So the state has supported, funded development of this tool called Signal 4 geolocation and diagram. So it's not the analytics piece of Signal 4, it's the tool that helps officers improve the data collection. It's integrated with the crash reporting, and it's designed to basically increase the accuracy of location. It's free to all the law enforcement agencies, is vendor independent, and actually reduces the burden of crash reporting. I want to show you what this looks like, just so they have an idea. And then I want to make a point about the importance of agencies. So the first, let's just pretend this is a crash report an officer is filling out, right? First thing that they would use is this tool, the geolocation tool, which they get an aerial photography, and instead of typing the address, they just place the point on the map. This is an example that we've already placed the point on the map, but this is exactly what the officers will see. So they take one of these buttons, and then they will just place the point on the map, and then the tool will provide all the description and information. The officers is simply accept that point, and then they come back to the form, right? So step number one. Then they continue to fill out their form as they are trained to do and as they do every day. However, the difference is now when they reach at the end, once they put the crash information, the vehicle information, the person information, they now get a button that automatically generates the diagram that you saw there, right? So this is the diagramming tool for law enforcement. This is what they now have access to. That's the tool that the state provides. So an example in the Orlando Metro Plan area is the Orlando PD. So Orlando PD is using this tool, and that's why if you go look at all their recent crashes, you should be able to see a diagram. So this is pretty much automatically generated, but there are tools here where the officers can, for example, if we wanted to indicate what happened post-crash, let's say this was a really bad crash, this car got out of the way and then also overturned, then they can diagram that, right? And then this other car, the post position maybe ended up there. In that location. And then when they are done diagramming it, they can finish and then submit so that it's saved with the crash report. So it's a very user-friendly tool and is getting, oops. I think where's my PowerPoint? I need my PowerPoint pad, sorry. Oh, okay, fantastic. Here. Oh. Oh, I resume the slideshow right there.
Is this the slide you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just close that. Yes, it's there.
Okay.
So we've been making efforts to reach out to law enforcement to be able to start to use this tool because of the importance of improving the crash data collection quality. So right now, that's the distribution in the Metro Plan Orlando area. So there's 3 vendors. Law enforcement use software that's provided by private vendors. So there's 3 tracks. That one is funded by the state. And we've got 19 agencies that are using that, and they are using all these tools. There's Smart Cop that FHP uses, and they are almost done in developing this tool, you can see. So that should be available in the next few months. And there's a third agency, 365 Labs, that it's going to have 4 agencies. They are almost done with it. There's the 4th vendor in this area is Central Square. There's 2 agencies, and those 2 agencies that are on the screen, Kissimmee and St. Cloud PD, are using Central Square. Central Square is not using the tool. So we would like to just point this out and encourage member of this committee and others that may have any relationship with the agencies to see if we can speak with them to be able to encourage them to consider using this tool. They do not need to change vendor, because that's the main thing when you hear something like that is like, oh, do I have to switch vendor? No, you can keep your vendor, but they will integrate this tool, and that will take us, you will see those numbers, right, to close to 100% to where then the data for the Metro Plan Orlando would be very timely and a lot more accurate. If I have time, I want to cover one more, but I don't know if I have time.
You have time. Did you want to do one more demonstration, Zach?
No, demonstrate. I have 2 more slides I want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, let me go. So on the getting back on the analytics side, there's a very important function there. There's data download, and since you all are, most of you familiar with it, I'm sure you should have used the data download, because a lot of people download the data, and it's very comprehensive, has all sorts of tables and data that you can download. The final feature I wanted to point out, it's perhaps maybe a little less known, is the network screening, which tries to identify the highest potential safety risks of the network based on crashes. There's 2 functions. One is for historic network screening that's mostly based on historic data. And there's capabilities there to say, for example, to choose district, the state or individual district. So say in this example, we've chosen District 5, and we're looking at an average crash rate by facility type. So that's in Signal 4 Analytics. So you can see for each category description, facility type, like urban interstate, rural interstate, urban toll road, and so on. You get an average crash rate, which can then be used to compare the rest of facility against it. Then you also get this high crash segment and high crash intersection based on historic data. And then as you zoom in, then you could get the details. So this is the overview where they're located. And then as you get in, you can see the specific segments that are higher risk. The predictive network screening uses more heavy statistics and uses the other risk factors of the network, like the traffic volume and others, and determines the high-risk intersection or high-risk segment. So, for example, you could do a query to see the top 50 high-risk location in District 5. And that's what that map is showing. For each of those locations, there is information that is provided along with the statistics. Like as you zoom in, then you would see these are the various segments. And the number in there indicates the ranking. So there's start obviously from the first being the worst, and then down the list that way. So that's what I wanted to cover.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Valeri. Are there any questions? Yes, Anthony?
Yeah, sure. I thought. The background is aerial photography from, it could be from different sources, publicly available sources. Typically, it's Google Maps or Mapbox. It's another vendor, or Big Maps. But for the diagramming for the officer is Google Maps, because they seem to have really good quality.
Tells you that that's the highest level you can go into, or highest zoom level.
At some point, you could, you can go even further, obviously. But are you saying that these look better than the one you've been trying, or?
Yeah, these are better.
Yeah, it depends, when these vendors fly the area, so they update them periodically. So, but I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Morning. Thank you for the presentation. I'm from the city of St. Cloud.
Uh-oh.
Just a quick clarification. So the Central Square integration, you're saying that the issue is it doesn't, is it the vehicle diagram part that's missing? What's missing from the?
Both of them. So I'm glad you're the right person I need to talk to. Yeah, made my trip worthwhile. So the way it works, Central Square knows about this, right? So in Tallahassee, there was a meeting earlier this year where they collected all the vendors, including Central Square, and say, hey, we've got these tools, they're free. You just need to integrate them. And they never say no, right? But there's the agency that needs to say, hey, Central Square, we need these tools because of the value. So there's two components: the geolocation, where they place the point on the map, and then based on that, once they fill out the rest of the crash report, is the diagram. But if you want to present this in an attractive way, just say they have a tool that create the diagram automatically for you, because that's what it is. And law enforcement is very much drawn to it. They love it. I mean, it's not like because we build it, but this is what they say. Once they see that, oh, I don't have to do the diagram anymore because more or less it builds it for you, that is very attractive. And then it will give us, all of us here, a lot better data. Yeah, if you could reach out to them, please let me know, and I'll be happy to come in person and give them presentation to the agency.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Because the vendor never says no, but but they never do anything unless the agency says we do really need this. So
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Outside of the crash diagram, the report that you showed, is this an additional report that law enforcement would have to fill out? Or is there an API being developed where they can fill out their crash reports for each agency that then could just be uploaded and a lot of that information filled out automatically?
no, it's not extra, right? So the way it works is that say those that use tracks or in any of these, right? They fill out what they have been filling out for years and years. It is a web service. I'm glad to use the web APIs. Yeah, it's exactly what we've developed is a web service that's vendor independent. So what happens is when they come to the proper portion of the crash form, for example, geolocation, instead of typing, there's about 12 different data elements that comprise of geolocation, right? Because we think of it as a point, but they have to say county, city, the street, intersecting street, the offset distance. Instead of doing all that, they get this map. They click the button, as I showed. They get this map, they put a point on the map, and the information that's returned is filled out automatically. This is where the vendor essentially is using the web service. And then they continue to fill out the rest of the information in their form, in tracks or in Central Square or in SmartCop, as they currently do. When they reach the portion to do the diagram, then they just have to click a button, generate diagram, and the diagram shows up. Again, it's a web service so it's very nicely integrated. They will never know that this is separate, right? It's very, so we've been working on this for quite a while. For the diagram, I didn't put it in there, but just so that we have to show the evidence that really works well. Now there's close to 200 agencies throughout the state that are using it. And there's been over 320,000 diagrams built to date. We've got too many crashes in Florida, but from the numbers perspective, it's pretty solid. And we just need to raise awareness. This exists. It's free. It requires almost no training for law enforcement. So we just need to reach out to them.
Dr. Valeri, I've been using your app for years.
Right.
And I love the way it helps me tell the story of what's happening in a corridor. And the more tools that law enforcement have to make their job easier and quicker is critically important because of the accuracy. And keep working at it and keep getting that accuracy up, because we pour that into. We've got a project that's $70 million right now. And it's critically important that we and our consultants have the most accurate information. So I really appreciate all that you do, and keep at it. It keeps getting better and better. And I'm really pleased to see the progress that it's making.
Thanks so much, Brian. I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we're excited about it. Definitely.
Okay.
One more question on your diagram. You had a red vehicle and a black vehicle. Is the red one where the fatality occurred, or the citation was given to the vehicle?
The color of the vehicle, when they fill out the crash report, they pick the vehicle body type, right? They pick the color. That's what's in the crash report. So our program takes all that and then generate icons with the proper colors. So that was just the color of the vehicle. But the color of the icon before you open the diagram, that shows the injury severity. So that was red because we had a fatality there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yes.
Costello, you mentioned something about timely data collection. What's the lag time from, the law enforcement issuing the crash report to showing up in Signal 4?
This guy has hard questions. That's a good question, right? What's the difference between when the report is filled out until the rest of us can see it so that we can do something with it, right? By law, the law enforcement has 10 days to submit the crashes to Tallahassee, right? Once they fill out a form from the moment of the crash. Some agencies are very good. They fill it out, approve it, and they send it very quickly. And then there are some crashes, especially those that need to be investigated, they could take longer. Some of the fatalities could take up to 30 days, could take more, right? Then they send update. So usually it varies between a few days to, I would say, a month to answer the question. But mostly we are going to add a timeliness chart in Signal 4. It's in the works so that you can scroll those charts down and you can look, the data I'm looking at, what should I expect? How much am I missing from this data being complete? So we're building that as we speak. However, from what we're seeing, I would say over 80% of the data are there in less than 10 days. So that's good news. And with some of these tools, that will speed up quite a bit because there's been no delays that starting from the time you have to spend to fill out the report, review it, and so on.
Are there any other questions? Did your question get answered?
I have one, but
Okay.
I don't want to take up everybody's time. Like about a month and a
Looks
half.
like you and I should talk afterwards.
Well, about a month and a half ago, I sent an email asking if you can change the labeling of where it says fatality within 30 days.
Yes,
That's within 30 days of the accident, somebody died.
within 30 days of the crash.
Right. So,
Oh, just to make it explicit. Okay, I see what you mean.
yeah, because in the manual or whatever you have that where it gives you all the explanation of it says the death occurred within 30 days of the accident
Right.
or the crash. But most people think of it as 30 days back, only one fatality 30 days ago. So it's kind of confusing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely take the suggestion. I have to run it by Tallahassee because the fatalities especially are the ones that are scrutinized, and then we can make that label change. That's not a problem on our end. So thanks for your input on that.
Okay, thanks.
Are there any other questions? Well,
Okay, well,
I'm just
thank
gonna
you
make-
for having me.
I'm just gonna make a quick comment. So there's 2 accidents that will get added to your report, one on my way home from work
Oh,
and one on my way here. So
Oh.
unfortunately.
sorry to hear that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. When I think about this, when I'm driving, I'm like, I don't want to be a record in the database that I work with.
Eric.
Dr. Valeri, I noticed that Sunday mornings were a hot time of the day. What types of crashes are occurring Sunday morning?
I'm not sure. Sounds like that should be, I don't know if I paid, that was Sunday evening, 8 to 10,
Sunday night.
Sunday night. Yeah.
That's even stranger.
No,
It's like the lowest.
commuters, long trips going back to work.
But it was only for the first month of the year, so it may be a little, the data might be skewed.
It was, no, actually from the beginning, because I get access to current data, fortunately, but it was from the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was 14 to 17, but that's a good point. I mean, I was actually looking at that, yesterday as I was preparing for it, but maybe we should, Mike's right, we should expand the date range because with crashes, you really need lots of data. And then I'll get back with you, see what.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? No? Okay, thank you,
Okay, well,
Doctor.
thank you.
Okay. Our next presentation this morning is on MetroPlan Orlando's ongoing and upcoming safety planning activities. Adriana?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, committee members. Adriana Rodriguez. I'm here to give you an update on our Vision Zero planning efforts. Let's start with our current SS4A grant. This grant was used to complete, as you all know, the Regional Vision Zero Action Plan, which was adopted back in September 2024, we have continued to work on some of the actions identified in this plan, including continuing our speaker series and convening our task force. We have also completed local Vision Zero action plans. The 3 county plans have been adopted, and most of the city and town plans have been adopted. We are also continuing working on demonstration projects, 3 currently, 1 in each county. In Seminole County, the demonstration project consists on a pilot testing of a software that helps monitor near misses at selected intersections within the high injury network for Seminole County. This helps identify any potential improvements at these locations, being more proactive on what's going on at these intersections. For Orange County, we are currently working on developing a bicycle safety program for middle schoolers. This has been an effort in coordination with a couple of middle schools in Orange County, developing materials and also understanding the logistics, the coordination, and the requirements needed to deploy such program. And in Osceola County, currently wrapping up the assessment of pedestrian crossing locations within the high injury network. Some of these were signalized and also mid-block crossings. And the intent with this demonstration project is to also identify a process to implement systematic improvements at locations with similar characteristics and context. You may be aware that we got a supplemental planning grant for an SS4A grant back in November 2024. We are waiting on guidance from the federal government to work on our grant agreement. So it's pending at this moment. Once we have the grant agreement in place, we will be focusing on 4 activities. One of them will be to continue safety-focused public participation. Then we're going to be also updating our crash data analytics and reporting, updating a regional high injury network, our online dashboard, and also use this data to monitor our performance and progress for the region towards Vision Zero. Another activity will be to conduct roadway safety audits on high injury network corridors, and also to update the Regional Vision Zero action plan, including a consolidation of the local plans and continuing to convene a Regional Vision Zero task force. Just for information, there is an open notice of funding opportunity for SS4A grants. The deadline to submit the applications is June 26 of 2025. All of the jurisdictions within the Metroplan area are eligible to submit applications, having a Vision Zero action plan in place. There are supplemental planning grants and also implementation grants available. As part of our regional Vision Zero action plan development, we also created a number of references that can help our local partners to advance their Vision Zero actions. One is the engineering toolkit. This engineering toolkit details proven engineering countermeasures that can be selected depending on the context and the crash data at selected corridors or intersections. We also have the non-engineering countermeasures toolkit that highlights the strategies and programs aimed at changing behavior. And we recently completed our quick build guide. This quick build guide includes information about quick build projects, what are the steps for a successful project, general design guidelines, and what are these treatments. So basically the quick build method refers to an accelerated project delivery method that helps agencies implement these improvements using low-cost materials and can be installed quickly. This helps agencies to test innovative or new treatments and evaluate the efficiency of those, gaining support from the community to determine if a more permanent project should be implemented. In terms of our ongoing efforts, we are currently working on migrating our Vision Zero website into our MetroPlan Orlando website. We have been continuing with our task force meetings quarterly, and our next meeting is July 18 of this year. This task force, it's a regional, we have regional partners that come together. We share information, updates, best practices, so we can all continue to collaborate towards Vision Zero. We have also continued with our safety speaker series, also collaborating with FDOT on their Target Zero efforts. And we have been monitoring the statewide safety coalitions and also identified a number of these coalitions that MetroPlan Orlando staff will be attending and continue to monitor to just keep us all updated on recent best practices and progress. Speaking of our safety speaker series, our last session took place on April 15 of 2025. At this session, the topic was how we can all collaborate on traffic calming installations and coordination with emergency responders. Basically, the intent was how we can meet the speed management needs while having the least impact on response times for emergencies. This is available in our YouTube channel. And our next session for the Safety Speaker Series will be scheduled for July timeframe. We're still working on the details of our topic and speakers, and we'll share the information as soon as we have it. And as mentioned before, we have been collaborating with FDOT. They completed their safety strategic plan. And as part of their actions, they have been meeting and identifying focus groups to continue advancing their safety improvement efforts. MetroPlan Orlando staff have been participating in these 3 focus groups to increase collaboration. The focus group that think beyond infrastructure, and the continued focus on safety. You are probably aware that the 2nd annual Central Florida Safety Summit is coming up, scheduled for May 9 in Daytona Beach. The registrations are open, and this is a great event that FDOT will be hosting to provide updates on their efforts related to their safety strategic plan. That concludes my updates, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions for Adriana?
No question.
Okay. So Anthony?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. You mentioned that for Orange and Osceola, you're doing some other work with the supplemental that you're getting from the feds, right?
We are currently working on demonstration activities that are part of our first grant. The first grant.
Nothing going on in Seminole County?
Yes, Seminole County, we are conducting a pilot testing of software technology that allows to monitor near misses at selected intersections within the high injury network. That project is about to wrap up, and we will be providing updates on the findings in upcoming committee meetings.
Okay, great. Then the second thing was the initial grant, the MPO matched the amount. Are they doing that for the supplemental as well?
Yes.
Right.
For portions of the supplemental plan, sorry, huge caveat, because there's $100,000 implications to our operating budget. A large portion of what Adriana presented, I'm gonna go back a couple of slides if I may. I'm not gonna jump with that. Majority of the supplemental planning grant, the one that's currently frozen based on executive orders, hopefully it defrosts and we advance that. We have received partnership from Seminole County Public Works, traffic engineering. We've been coordinating with Charlie and Tony specific to that, as well as the city of Castleberry has also contributed or has said they'll be contributing towards that. Because that grant was frozen, for lack of better words, we haven't been working through the interlocal agreements necessary for that. As soon as we hear, word from Washington that grant is, moving forward, we'll be re-engaging those. But there is a local funding commitment, local agency funding commitment. But MetroPlan Orlando is providing about 80% of the local match.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
I see that YouTube, I'm not gonna try to record it. Can I get, is that on the MetroPlan site or is it on the Vision Zero site? That
It's
video
the,
link?
the Metroplan Orlando YouTube channel.
It's just the MetroPlan YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have 3 common presentations with the TAC meeting. For those who are available, we encourage you to stay for the TAC meeting to view the presentations.
Madam Chair, if I could. One of them is an update on the 2050 MTP, and I encourage you to stay for that one in particular because this is a summary of the summit that we had, and I know many people couldn't attend, but Taylor's done a very good job of distilling all that was collected and shared at the summit down to a presentation. So if you can't hang around, that would be a good one to be here for. Thank you.
Okay. All right. There will also be a status update on the Vision Zero Central Florida and on the prioritized project list and transportation improvement program. There are several items in the general information section of our agenda packet for your review under tab 3. There is also a list of upcoming meetings in your agenda. Some notable meetings are the MetroPlan board meeting, which will be on May 14th, and the next TSMO meeting, which will be on May 30th at our normal time of 8:30. Are there any final comments from any members? Nope. Okay. Oh, okay.
I just wanted to let the committee know that at Altamont, we're halfway through a pilot of looking at roadway evaluations and pavement evaluations where I know we're all trying to find ways to save money or do more with less. And to go and do PCI scores could cost 50, 100, 200,000, depending on the size of your network. We're working with the company RoboSys that's using AI and computer vision on a cell phone that you can mount to any vehicle and drive the roads, and it's a fraction of the cost. And I'm talking less than $5,000 for us to go and do this whole thing. We just completed our initial data evaluation where we went through all of our 80 miles of roadways. It took maybe 3 or 4 half days with our interns. We haven't gotten the data back yet, but they're showing an interactive map that goes into GIS that basically creates a Google Earth of your roadway, showing where your cracks, your potholes are, and telling you severity. As we get the data and have more information, I want to present to this group our findings. It's something that I think maybe won't take away the old way of evaluating roadways, but might take 80% of that effort out because there's some areas where we want to just look a little closer. They're also looking to expand as an asset management tool where right now it's just using computer vision. but they're looking at having an add-on that could put a LiDAR unit on any truck, just clip it on. You could rent it or buy it. And then you could go through and get all your assets, all your signs, your fire hydrants. We're looking at also pre and post storm, how this could help us figure out where their issues are. So it's just something pretty exciting that I'm happy about and wanted to let you all know. And as I find out more information as we finish this pilot, I'll bring it to the committee to present.
Okay, thank you. That sounds like something we could all benefit from. Okay. We have our final public comment opportunity. If any members of the public wish to comment, please use the raised hand function and you will be recognized, or dial *9 on your phone keypad. We will unmute your mic after you are recognized. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. Do we have anyone joining us virtually who would like to make a comment?
There are no hands raised online, Madam Chair.
Okay. Do we have any members of the public attending in person that wish to make a public comment?
We have a speaker card from the audience. Ellen Hardgrove would like to speak.
Good morning. My name is Ellen Hardgrove. I'm the city planner with the city of Edgewood. And I'm here to clarify public comments that were made by Jim Uzinski at the February TSMO Advisory Committee meeting, where he stated, and I quote, "Low-cost, common sense solutions, which could otherwise have taken many years and millions of dollars to fix, solved the operation and safety issues at the misaligned intersection of Holden and Gatlin at Orange Avenue in Edgewood." To correct the record, his reference low-cost improvements will not solve the issues at this intersection. They were very short-term, quick fixes, solutions that are projected to provide relief only till, at most, 2035. Without a long-term solution, the level of service at these intersections will be E, with the critical directional movement at level service F. The Orange County Commission continues to recognize the need for a long-term solution, with their recently studied alternative being the realignment of Gatlin Avenue with Holden through the shopping center on the east side of Orange Avenue. This long-term option replaced the alternative that Mr. Muzinski referenced as rejected at the February meeting, which was the realignment of Holden Avenue with Gatlin through a small corner of the Cypress Grove Park. In addition to the county's conclusion that a long-term solution is needed, Metro Plan's Vision Zero Action Plan for Edgewood, completed just 3 months ago, also recommends realigning Holden with Gatlin after finding serious safety concerns at this misaligned intersection. In short, contrary to Mr. Muzinski's assertions, the operation and safety issues at this misaligned intersection have not been solved. And the realignment of Holden with Gatlin continues in order to form a four-way intersection, have not been solved, and continues to be a needed regional improvement.
That's your time.
That's fine. I just appreciate that you would correct the minutes or put these comments in the minutes for this meeting. And I have a letter that there's copies for everybody, but I'll give them to Rachel that summarize what I've stated today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other public comments?
No more public comments, Madam Chair.
At this time, there is no further business. What? Are there any written comments that were submitted before the meeting?
No, there wasn't.
No. Okay. At this time, there are no further business. We stand adjourned. Thank you.